New law is now in effect in California. It actually cracks down on people who impersonate others online with the intent to do harm. For example, if you set up Facebook or MySpace or email accounts in someone else's name, then post or send out terrible and false things about them or about others, you'll actually get a fine and some jail time. Something like that happened to this guy, Carol Gardino. He's the CEO of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. Someone actually sent out an email in his name apologizing for something awful that Carl didn't even do. There was no law protecting him until now. We want to talk more about this with Nigam. He's an internet security specialist. This sounds like a real blow to cyber bullies, at least in California, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kyra. This is actually a great new law because, and the result might have been a pissed off politician who's trying to help out a great constituent of his or her to create a law for the little guy. And I say that because what this does is it makes it a crime, not just a civil problem, but a crime to impersonate somebody, act like they're somebody, act like them, and then defraud or harm or threaten. And you can do it either in email, you can do it through a Twitter account. Anything internet connected, in essence, is what we're talking about here.
Now, how do you prove the harm?
So in a way, you have to look at this just like you do in the physical world. When you think of harm, think of it the way the dictionary would. Intimidating somebody, harming somebody, threatening somebody, all those words are words that are used in laws today in the physical side. And what you're doing is in combining that with the internet side. So it's actually not so difficult to prove, and that's why it's a great law for the poor kid at home whose mother goes to the police and says, hey, somebody's impersonating my son, making him look really bad, or my daughter, and the police often say, sorry, mother, sorry, ma'am, we can't do anything to help you. This law is a law for that kid at home.
Now, what about stopping malicious campaigning against politicians and other famous persons? Because those individuals, I mean, their names are out there, they're celebrities or politicians. The law doesn't protect them as much as, say, someone who's being cyberbullied. But would this law do that?
This law would absolutely do that. So, for example, you could create an email campaign pretending to be a senator who had political aspirations. And in the old days, if you think about it, you had to do that by mailing one letter at a time, by making one phone call at a time. Now the damage can be permanent, it can be long-term, and it can be far-reaching. So in a sense, this was also a great new tool for politicians to use, especially during campaign seasons or during those times when there's a heated debate going on and you're trying to damage one cause against another cause.
And what's been so frustrating, I mean, a lot of us even here in this business feel it, is that so many of these people can say things about you and put things out there and be anonymous about it, which is so frustrating because it's such an act of, it's just cowardly. So what do you think about this law and how far it could go? Could we see other states passing this law? Could we see it be, gain more momentum? What do you think?
I think absolutely. If you're a legislator in some other state, and for that matter for Congress is coming back in Washington, D.C., pay attention to this law, because what you have here is a great little piece of legislation. It's not 200 pages long. It's one paragraph. And what it can do for you, whether you're a politician, whether you're trying to stop cyberbullying, there's so many different ways that the internet is being used by those who think it's anonymous, that this is a perfect tool for you. So pay attention out there. California might be the first one to do it, but there's 49 other states. And the other piece of it that's also good is that even if you are in another state today, many of these internet companies, in fact, the majority of the internet companies, actually sit in California. So you could think of a way, especially plaintiffs' lawyers out there, to bring suits against individuals, lawsuits against individuals, even if they're not in California, because there's a server that passes, the system passes through servers in California before it gets to, say, Arkansas or gets to Texas or somewhere else.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see the domino effect from this, that's for sure, because there's been so many complaints about how gray the law is when it comes to the internet. Right. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.